But to be able to get there, we need to do a little bit of homework. So don't take me wrong. Okay? I'm positive about the idea. I'm just not positive about the state of the affairs where we are now. Yes?
What is the principal difference between tax haven and
holding jurisdiction? The difference is actually that on a paper you are levying taxes. Tax rate is 20%, 15%, etc. In reality, when you then see the exemptions, you pay no tax. So effect is almost the same. You end up paying no tax. But it is on a paper, it doesn't look so. So it's kind of hidden tax haven. Okay, that's what it is in reality, but it's only for limited activity. So tax havens normally would say no companies pay any tax. And they collect the tax revenue only from taxing either individuals or only consumption. The holding jurisdictions, in this context we speak, they are high tax jurisdictions. Okay, those countries in Europe, they are levying heavy tax burden on the population. But I would say, if you get this type of income, and this type of income goes up, it's free of charge or free of tax. Okay, so it's special incentive for money flows to create like tunnels for money to flow through, like a turbine, and the turbine turns the economy. Okay, the economy is riding on this energy, and little bit drops fall into the system. So the money would normally go a different direction, but it happens to flow through your jurisdiction, and it gives you irrigation. Okay, and makes people rich, because if you handle, everybody has to hold that money for a moment in their hands. Everybody keeps a little bit on their fingers. Okay, so that's the whole idea about the holding jurisdiction.
And you mentioned two countries, Austria and Netherlands. Do both of these countries use, not use think-up rules or something?
Austria doesn't have think-up rules. Yeah, they don't have described. I will need to check on the Netherlands, but basically the tendency is that they would not have clearly defined. Okay, you will be kind of left for discussion with the tax authorities. You would come there, say, "Hi George, let's discuss this case. Would you find reasonable?" "Oh, that sounds reasonable," and he gives you a ruling, and it's okay. So something like that, okay? And it's binding. Okay? As long as it's reasonable, there is certain element of the whole idea. If you have an operate holding jurisdiction, you need to defend it, especially to your neighbors, because you are taking from them. Okay? And they cannot say, "You are taking money from our jurisdiction." You have to be prepared. "No, sorry. I mean, it's law, and we are doing all right." So Austria doesn't have think-up rules. Netherlands, I will need to double check, but I think that they also moved away from that. Or if they have it, it will be rather generous, and you can work with them. Yes.
What kind of risks there could be? What if you take the way to make this dream come true?
Yeah.
But there could be some kind of risk that it will not happen.
You know what? When I came to Astana in 2008, I told them the idea. The next day it was written in the license. You know, in Europe, they would have a discussion for half a year. Everybody needs to be on board. Okay, not only tax. Everybody needs to understand that this is the idea, and the policies are aligned. Not only tax policy, but all other aspects. So the danger, it was a perfect example of what can go wrong, because they adopted the idea without scrutiny and actually dropped even my recommendations to restrict it. Make this, it cannot be for everything. Any any dividend, any capital gain must be carefully selected. Okay? So you know what are you exempting and what are you giving up. They put no limits. Suddenly nobody paid dividend tax, nobody paid capital gain. State lost a lot of revenue. That cost, I think it must have cost at least $1 billion or $2 of tax revenue to the state. Just accepting it without, by crossing out those other conditions that I told them. So I think the issue must be studied carefully so that this doesn't happen. That's one of the risks. I think that would be the major risk. I think is the revenue risk, that you may lose money on taxation, but you can work with that carefully drafting the law. But then, as I said, it must be carved into the stone for generation. It should not change. Risk is that you will not follow through. You will be changing your mind. The tax law will be changing. Rule of law. Many of the non-tax issues, they are crucial. If you make that work, it will not be good only for holding companies, for everybody. If you know that the law is a law, and it's not because you know the judge or somebody is a very high position and he can help. If you will believe in the law, and that's a major change. That's a change here. Okay. The risk is that we will not be able to do so. We will have beautiful system holding company on a paper, but we are not ready in here. Okay, so that's what I think is more like a risk of non-achievement. Because if my dream comes true, then it's perfect. It will work. Okay, it will mean that it didn't happen because of some of these challenges that I mentioned during my presentation. Other questions? Yes.
For me, your lecture is not so understanding, yes. Because more or less, I think that more or less bachelor, studies bachelor, yes. And your lecture was so possibility specification, and I don't understand why this text is used in holding company. Could you give us some examples as a jurisdiction for a regional holdings company abroad? Yes.
I used the two examples. So in my presentation, it was Netherlands and also